Welcome to a new Daily Top Askreddit video. Today's topic.
What's a harsh reality that everybody needs to hear? You can become disabled unexpectedly at any point in your life. Make sure you're taking advantage of the abilities you have while you have them. This is scary. It is. I saw it happen to my mom in her 50s and then it happened to me in my 20s. Don't let life pass you by. Enjoy every bit of it while you have a body that allows you to do so. Smiley face. I don't regret any of the things I paid to experience before I got sick. This comment should rise like cream to the top. Seriously, the human body is amazing, resilient, and beautifully intricate. It is also fragile, complicated, and fallible. Never, ever ride in a car with your feet on the dash. Don't light those M80s in your hand. Don't dive headfirst into unfamiliar waters. Life is already trying to kill or maim you. Don't give it any help. Signed, someone that has witnessed a handful of level 1 traumas and studying to become a surgical scrub. Sometimes you're the bad guy. Holy shit, this blew up. I had this realization last night. My 2-yo said he was done with his cheeseburger. I knew that was untrue, but I ate the remaining quarter anyway. 5 minutes later he was devastated. Sometimes it's the people closest to us that hurt us the most. I'm bad, and that's good. I will never be good, and that's not bad. There's no one I'd rather be than me. Ralph. If I'm not bad guy, then who will crack skull like baby bird egg between thighs? Corollary. Sometimes, no one is the bad guy. Just because someone is opposed to you doesn't mean they are bad, or that you are bad. Sometimes shitty situations can arise despite everyone acting in good faith. Second corollary. Sometimes, everybody is the bad guy. People suck, and both players in a confrontation may be wrong. And someone else's bad reaction in response to your own shitty behavior doesn't somehow absolve you of that shitty behavior. Sure, the other person overreacted, but you still suck too. It's why that toxic sub-AITA has an ESH verdict. Some people will hurt you, and they won't care how you feel about it. And some of those people will be people you thought were good friends, or even your own family. The family aspect is a really hard thing to come to terms with. Especially when you're raised with the whole, blood is thicker than water, trope. ETA. Please scroll before you post the exact same. That's not the original phrase, comment. Someone else posted the history of it, and it is the original phrase. You can love someone with all of your heart and not be loved back in the same way. I wasted a lot of time in my life either being too stupid to learn this or at the very least too stubborn to admit it to myself. My stupid heart decided it would rather go the rest of my life pining over the one I don't have than move on. My head is furious. My lungs indifferent. Bad things can happen to good people. Good things can happen to bad people. It's unfair. It's life. You can do everything perfectly correct and still fail. One of the best scenes from The Office. Ryan. I just don't know what I did wrong. Dwight. Look, not everything's a lesson. Sometimes you just fail. Quote. It's a Star Trek reference. But it's a very realistic one. It is possible to make no mistake and still lose. That is not a weakness. That is life. Sometimes you need to accept you did everything within your power right and it still went bad. And remember that this isn't something to beat yourself up over. These things happen. Edit. Holy hell, did blew up. I'm glad to see so many. I needed to hear this. Comments. I know I needed to hear this the first time I saw this scene. That's like Dwight in The Office. Not everything is a lesson, Ryan. Sometimes you just fail. Quote. I also like the reverse of that. It is possible to royally fuck things up and still win. Not everyone likes you. Some people won't like you for very arbitrary reasons, or for no reason at all. It takes way too much of your energy trying to make people like you. Use that energy on yourself and your loved ones. It's a life lesson I learned much later than I could have. Just because someone is your family doesn't mean they have your best interests at heart. Corollary. Not all parents love their children. Many parents shouldn't have had children. If your parents are abusive, get out as soon as you can and never look back. Unfortunately, it's only going to get worse. No one should ever have to endure abuse or love them in the way that the kids actually need. My parents love me, I believe that. But they were also the almost singular source of my pain and misery to the point where I've changed my name and number and I will never speak to them again. This one is both harsh and comforting. People don't think about you as much as you think they do. That means that your feelings might be ignored or not considered. People will forget things about you and might not remember things you've done together that were very memorable for you. That can be hard to realize. On the other hand, they probably don't remember that embarrassing thing you did in high school. Or they don't care about it. They notice patterns of behaviors more than occasional bad days that you have. So those times you feel bad about being off with someone, they probably don't think about them. Unless they become frequent. Personally, I find that comforting. Nah. I remember when, name redacted, pooped in her white skirt in 3rd grade and sat in it all day. I'm 39. I sat in chocolate. Stop telling everyone I shat myself. You don't realize the good, best times as they are happening. I wish there was a way to know you're in the good old days before you've actually left them. Andy Bernard. ETA. Thank you for the gold. Sometimes when my husband and I find ourselves in a particularly happy and loving moment with our toddler, I'll tell him to focus on this moment. Record it in your memory because these are the good old days.